This meeting is being recorded.
Well, I like that. This meeting's being recorded. We got that first thing. This is Python's Paradise. This is your host, Greg Gilbert, aka the Python Hyena, straight out of Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada. And I'm going to tell you, this is like an all-night party here today because it's after 4 o'clock in the morning here. I'm kind of hoping work doesn't call me, but I don't think they will. If they do, I'm gonna be a zombie, but I'll probably do it because, well, pays the bills. My guest is also a night owl too, like myself. He's been a guest here before. I've had him on last year in May, and he was also in a 13 fanboy group chat in which his audio did not work. So he went with the little cards with the dialogue on it. Folks, I give you the author of A Bloody Halloween, Mr. Jimmy Pressley. How you do, Jimmy?
I'm good. Are you doing all right, Greg?
I'm doing great. Yep. I was at my brother's hanging out for a while, and I know we were supposed to be on earlier. I'm glad you were understanding 'cause I don't get it out there all the time, It's my work schedule at the hospital is where I'm a casual. I'm often on call, but I'm not going to complain. It's good money, good people, and I think I'm performing a really good service there at the hospital. So, yeah, and this is just an added bonus when I get the opportunity to do it. You're my 87th interview this year, and we're not even halfway through the year yet, so not bad.
Yeah, that's good.
But yeah, it was nice to keep in touch with you. You reached out to me on Messenger and mentioned that we hadn't talked in a while, and it's been kind of the case even around here. It's just like I'm glad I landed this new job. I started back on March 21st, and it's like I said, it's been good to pay my bills and to have some money I could put away, which wasn't the case before. So I'm happy about that. But we're not here to discuss my financial situation. We're here to discuss A Bloody Halloween and the indie horror community, because that was how you and I become acquainted. It was through the indie horror scene. I remember it was you and Rob Mahoney, aka the Blues guy, the Bruins guy, and Noelle Berger. At the time, were a trio of promoters, and now we have Amy Crabtree. We have a variety, and they do a lot of footwork online to get these things out here. But I know I don't want to start this out in a negative, but I know that the indie horror community has had a lot of problems as of late. And just in your personal opinion, I'm not out to mention names because I know there's been some controversial figures. Some might even say I am one, but I won't get into that either because I don't give a shit. But yeah, but I know I've had there's been some controversial figures, and I'm not here to point fingers, but what do you think, in your opinion, are the issues with the indie horror scenes, and what could be done to improve it?
That's a tough one. And I've had a lot of people ask me that in especially the last 6 months. I think there are a lot of first time directors, and then there are directors that are known, and I'm not going to mention names as you said, but it seemed like a lot of fans of the independent horror scene started judging people before they could get work out. And then there was a division on whether it should be original work or fan films. And then, recently people are saying people shouldn't get parts through perks, or, shouldn't be producers by perks. So I don't think there's a real answer. There's just so many things that people have opinions on, and people are hitting people with the negative. You know what I mean? They're saying, instead of talking or asking questions, they want to state their opinion in a negative way. And it seems like if they're not heard, they just go all out crazy. And, there have been, there's been questionable behavior by certain people on certain films. Um, Again, I'm not going to mention anybody. I mean, I wasn't there for any of it. I don't know. But I just know this, that the community needs to stay together. I've even stepped back for personal issues, just family things and personal issues with myself. But I just know I think everybody needs to take a breath, block the drama causers, and just be positive and try to help each other out like it used to be. And that's my only simple answer, is just be nice, be positive, block the negativity out, and just continue helping each other like you used to. And I think that's just the only way it's going to work. If not, it's going to implode. Eventually, it'll come back strong. It's going to implode again. That's just how life is. But I think we're at that point now, or we have been the last few months, where it's time for everybody to come back together. That was a long-winded answer, wasn't it? But,
you know what? I prefer
tough.
that. Yep. I prefer a long-winded answer. People want to hear from you, so, and I'm happy to have you on here. And, yeah, I think things have gotten a little hazy and crazy out there in the indie world. And yeah, I saw Rob Mahoney did a video not too long ago about one of the things you mentioned, recently, about people saying that you can't be a producer on a perk or whatnot. And Rob mentioned something very, very important in that video. A lot of times, producers, I mean, they can be on set, but a lot of times they're not, or at least from what I could tell. Like sometimes they could certainly be. Like, I know that Steven Spielberg was definitely on hand when Poltergeist was being directed by Toby Hooper. But then again, like Adam Marcus directed Jason Goes to Hell, but Sean S. Cunningham would make periodically would make appearances, but normally it's, the director is on set. To me, fan film never came to my attention until Vincent DeSante did Never Hike Alone, which, to be quite frank, I think is kind of the template of how a fan film should look like, because I think Vincent DeSante did it right. I also think that, I also think Dave McCrae and Bruce Dale did it right with It's Me, Billy, the Black Christmas fan film. But you did hit on something else, that I think is very important. I know a lot of people make fan films because, they're a proven entity, people will watch them. That's why we got so many Halloween and Friday the 13th fan films. But they can't make money off of those. Like, I just got, I interviewed some people from the movie Holy Shit Man, which is had Rebecca Reinhardt in it, and Brent W. Black, and I had the director Chuck on as well. And Holy Shit Man is clearly a low budget film. But here's the thing, I got a Blu-ray of that movie, and they're able to make money off of that because it's their own project. Hayden
Right.
Newman also. I gotta say, Hayden Newman impressed me with Reunion from Hell. That turned out way better than I thought it was going to. And of course, B. Luciana Barciluccia, I don't know if I said his name right, was Social Distance also, and Rob Mahoney has his name on that, and Noelle Berger is in that.
Oh yeah.
Social Distance turned out remarkably well. And these are movies where
Yeah, it was.
yeah, the filmmakers can make money off of those.
Oh yeah.
Like
I agree.
a
I,
lot of these people, and I know we know one for sure, but again, I won't name names, but I know you was involved in a project, a fan film of a popular horror character, and the individual in question, I'm not quite so sure he got the reality that you can't make money off this. And sometimes I wonder if people are, when they go into this, do they are they thinking with the reality that legal actions can be taken? What are your thoughts on all that?
yeah. My answer is I don't know about the legal issues, and I know you can change this or that
Hmm.
and legally make a film as long as you don't profit from it. Um, I think most people do it as a fan to kind of live be a part of the franchise or whatever the film is that they love and they're making. Um, I know I've seen some like you great Friday the 13th ones like Never Hike Alone. I've seen some decent Halloween ones that shocked me. I'm like I expected a backyard camcorder film and it was filmed like something right out of Hollywood or whatever. And I think people have the right to make that. I think people have the right to ask for money because as a backer or a contributor, obviously, most people as adults know anyway. Yeah, there's not going to be a profit here. This is just something someone's doing for a passion. So I say more power to you. If you want to do it, go kick some ass and do it.
Hmm.
And if you have a problem with it, shut up. Who cares? It's not your project. Just don't back it. That's just my opinion. I say kick some ass if you want to. If you want to be original, like we talked about, you talked about social distance and reunion from hell and all these other. There's so many fan films. There's so many original films. You pick and choose what you like.
Hmm.
You pick and choose what you don't like. But if you're going to be negative about it, go on somewhere and let the people do it. Let the people live out their dreams. Let the people's passion flow. Let the art flow. And that's just kind of my take on it. Just shut up if you don't like it, um, or at least don't be negative. You have a right to share your opinion and your thoughts on it, but don't drag everybody down because there's people out there that work their asses off to bring fans great fan films just as well as original. So yeah.
Hmm. You know, it's interesting because I know you've been affected by this kind of toxicity too, and you got drug in the middle of one situation. Now I know you. I mean, we haven't personally met, but we've been in contact for a long enough time. I have a sense of who you are and what you're all about, and I think your heart was in the right place. I think you were trying to stay out of some drama, and it's like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. What did you take away from that experience, and what's the biggest lesson you learned that maybe you could avoid moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, I can't say either way whether things happen, and I'm probably gonna get slapped just for saying that. But the my what I took away from that situation is, and I've talked about this with several people, and they agree. You need to get to know the director, find out if things are legit, and I'm not putting anybody down, but things got rocky on a particular film that I was on, the one you just mentioned, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, my intentions were, well, the campaign's closed. There's a lot of backers and a lot of money in this, so let's try to kind of still film this, and then things kind of got worse. And it seemed like I don't know what exactly happened per se, from someone on this film to other people on this film. I don't know. I just know what was told to me via the people. So it was tricky because, a lot of people were like, well, how can you stay attached? And it was like, well, okay, so you're saying someone might annoy you. Well, some people are just annoying. I'm not saying this person is, but there's a lot of money in this, and people need to get their money's worth. They bought perks, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously things snowballed. It went to hell. It was just, I probably stayed on longer than I should have to try to get those backers at least what they paid for, and it just wasn't salvageable. It was just one of those life lessons learned. It's like, you trust your gut. My gut told me before things got really bad that a lot of people aren't accepting this. They're not accepting a certain person. They're not
Mm-hmm.
accepting certain ideas that were brought up. And then again, things got worse.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you do? What do you do? And my intentions were, yeah, okay, there's money here. And it was just me trying to be helpful and me trying to say, we got to work around whatever the trouble is, whether it was certain people in the community or whether it was someone on the film itself. It just sucked all the way around. And it hit me pretty hard at first, but I learned that, just research, watch people's behaviors. If things are getting said, question it more. That's something I didn't lack in. I always seem to be questioning certain people, but you don't always get the right answer. So you're stuck in the middle, stuck in the middle. What I learned again is just, all I can say nowadays is it's happened several times, not just on the film I was on. There's other situations where it's apparently happened. I wasn't there, so I can't say, but man, just research. If something feels wrong in your gut, walk away. If things get crazy, it's up to the person that happens to do something about it. Not everybody else that's on the movie. It's up to that person to do something about it. You don't wait 6 months and then try to do something. And I'm not putting anybody down. It's just everything happened so fast. It was like a long process of BS. But then all of a sudden it was like, damn, all this happened. And you're like getting hit left and right. And you're like, who said that? What happened there? When did that how did you? And then it was just over. So all I can say is research, trust your gut. If something feels funny, if there's any red flags in your mind at all, back away from it. If things seem really wrong or something happens to you, you got to report it. And that's just my take on it. I could be wrong and people may disagree with me, but it was a very confusing situation I was in. There are other things that have happened on other films, not so confusing. And maybe even on this particular film, to people that say things happen to them. If
Mm-hmm.
something did, it's like, take action. Like, take action with the person that did it, and then get away. And it's confusing. I can't really say what I want to say because it puts people in the spot and
Yeah.
on the spot. I mean, I don't want to do that, but
No.
so I'll shut up because I could ramble on about it and not really make a point all night.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you, I am going to mention a name here because this isn't a positive. This isn't a positive. Like I remember when Reunion from Hell started filming, there was a lot of little bit of controversy. I wasn't there on set, but I contributed to Reunion from Hell. And I don't know, I wasn't
Yeah.
there, but there was some issues with things going on set, and Hayden Newman, who I've had on here um, more than once, and even I stepped away from the project for a while, and then I kind of come back to it. And Hayden made Reunion from Hell. And I'm going to be honest, I was kind of surprised at the finished product. Actually, you want me to tell you, going into it, my biggest criticism was Hayden Newman cast as the lead, because it felt to me like
Yeah.
you're glorifying yourself. But you know what? I'm going to be frank. My favorite part of the film was Hayden Newman. Hayden did a great job. I was like, okay. That was one area where I gotta say I was wrong, and I'm actually looking forward to Reunion from Hell 2. But here's the thing with Hayden.
Yeah.
Despite I look at Reunion from Hell, which turned out to me well, it was a rough start. Now I don't know what went on, and I'm not going to take sides. I have a good report with Hayden, but Reunion from Hell 2 is might be in post production now for all I know. I don't know. But here's the thing. It's getting made. It's got some of the Nightmare on Elm Street people involved with it. You got Lydia Manson
Yeah.
involved with it. I don't know whether Angel Bradford's involved with that one or not, but no, Lydia Manson is, and I'm not hearing the controversy on Reunion from Hell 2. So with Hayden, I
Hmm.
just kind of chalk it up as a beginner's misfortune, but the first one turned out well, and I actually look forward to the second one. And I'm kind of like, okay, I'm interested to see where Hayden is going. Um, so Hayden is one that, to me, in my opinion, kind of came out the other side with a lot of potential. I'm very, very pleased. Did you see Reunion
Yeah.
from Hell?
I have the DVD. I did the Blu-ray, and I did see it. I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
Now, right when I got hit with all the controversy that happened on the other film, someone approached me with controversy from that film, The Reunion from Hell, and I don't know whether it was controversy during shooting or after the film or earlier on, like you were mentioning.
Mm-hmm.
And so they kind of put me on the spot. They're like, you can't support me and support that movie, and I tried to play the person in the middle, like, well, I wasn't there. I don't know what went on. All I know is what I saw, which was the finished film, which
Mm-hmm.
I did like also. But it was one of those situations where, just to stay away from drama, I just had to back away completely, because I was on it initially too, but so many people kept saying so many things. It was like I just had to step away. And I'm not putting anybody down because I wasn't there,
Mm-hmm.
but it was another one of those situations where either something bad happened or someone really wanted you to think something bad happened, and but I just don't know. I wasn't there, but I know several people did approach me, and there was one story in particular that was pretty intense. So I just said, it's just something I can't push or talk about. Back when I was pushing and promoting, I just couldn't, because, like, if that did happen, that's something I cannot promote. And I can't mention names. It's just, and I'm not putting the movie down. Like I said, I liked what I saw as far as the movie went. I don't know what happened now as far as the controversy, other than one specific story that I heard. And so I couldn't back it. I couldn't support the sequel. And I'm not being negative. I mean, I think people should judge for themselves, ask questions, get the story, and either support it or don't. Just be as positive as you can. It's hard. It's hard because I hate being put in the middle like that.
No.
Because I thought everything was settled, and then all of a sudden you find out, holy shit, this happened, and then the other person hits you up, and they're like, that's not what happened at all. And it's you kind of trust both of them. You kind of know them both just enough to be like, okay, either one of these people could be telling the truth, but they're completely different stories. And I hate that. I don't hate the people. I just hate being in that situation because, like, you want to trust. So, for me, the best thing is give someone the benefit of the doubt and just step away altogether, and get away from the drama for myself. But also, you're not supporting where someone was potentially hurt. I don't know. I don't know though. I don't know what happened, and I wasn't there. But as far as the film, I was surprised. It turned out really,
You know
really
what?
good. It was
Here's
really
here's my take. I don't know the details of the issue, but like I said, because I mean, I've been part of these shitty controversies as well. Not with this film, but at least Hayden got the film made. And we're
yeah,
going to talk about opposite ends here in a minute. But Hayden got the film made, and Reunion from Hell 2 is shaping up. This is why I question, because it's like I don't hear controversy about Reunion from Hell 2. So it's
right.
like I don't know. It's like it was just a bad trip. I don't know, but Reunion from Hell turned out well. Hayden is an example of somebody who made a movie well, and not only made a movie, but made a movie well enough that actually I was impressed with. And I'm actually looking forward to the second one. And there's not a peep being echoed with the second one. So I'm kind
Yeah,
of like, I'm kind of like, I'm kind of leaning on the side of what was the controversy about again, Now, we know a couple of situations. Hayden I mentioned by name because Hayden, I think, I have whatever went on for that Reunion from Hell, and I'm not even saying Hayden was guilty of anything. I'm just saying I know there was some conflicts and stuff like that. I wasn't there, and I'm not going to get into hearsay.
right.
But Hayden made a finished product. How many times do we hear about drama like this and we don't get a finished product, but yet people went out and bought perks and whatnot for nothing? There's been
Yeah,
some incidences like that. I've actually toned down now on supporting a lot of these films, but there's been incidences where campaigns you can campaign, you can crowdfund, but there comes a point you got to make your film. And
right.
there's too many incidences where I'm not seeing a film made. Hayden
Yeah,
went out and made not one film but two films, maybe more for all I know. I know that Hayden's involved
yeah,
with the Hag Witch, so
yeah,
I say Hayden is at least proven to be a talent. Now, the people I'm not going to mention by name, I got nothing personal against either one, but it was situations where there was a lot of online campaigning, but nothing concrete was being made. I
yeah.
find this has been happening quite frequently, and that has a very bad impact on crowdfunding.
Yes. Yeah, there were some situations, even as far as I guess 2 years back, where I was asked first to donate and or contribute, and I couldn't do it. Well, at least not what they wanted. So they're like, "Well, we see you promote a lot," and I don't even like calling it promoting. It's more like I like saying pushing, or just it's another way of backing. I don't like saying promoting because now I used to promote back when I could use all social media platforms more often. I emailed and had I had this website. I can't remember the name where we compile like all my emails. A friend of mine taught me how to do this, but anybody that had like the same interest, you could compile them into a big list and you could email them the updates, kind of like the Indiegogo or the GoFundMe does when they
Mm-hmm.
send out updates. But you would do it and say, this is the new perk, or this is the first behind the scene picture, or here's the teaser trailer. I could send it out personally myself and add my own little personal message to it. That to me was promoting. Otherwise, I was just kind of sharing on my own little personal note. But a couple of years ago is when I started seeing, like you said, a lot of campaigning, and even me being asked. But there were a lot of red flags for the way they were acting and the way they were handling it. And there were certain movies that right in the middle of their campaign or right when it was done, it would close down rather than go in demand. The money would disappear, and you never did see the movie, or they would come out a year later with some half-ass movie that was made with a third of the money. Where did the rest of the money go? I have no idea. So yeah, I've really limited myself. I don't know if he would appreciate me saying this. I don't see why he would care, but as far as I'm concerned, the only people I'm going to back are people I know and trust, and they are people that have made a lot of movies. And I'm not putting anybody down I've helped this last year, like Steve Merlo. The Sawyer Massacre, I think is going to be awesome, right? I think
Steve
Michelle
Merlo,
Blasky's third channel.
Steve Merlo, I had on the show, and Steve's got a good reputation, So yeah, kudos to him. Yes.
Yeah, I agree. He's one that I would probably definitely help again if he asked me.
Mm-hmm.
But people like Brad Twigg, from Fuzzy Monkey that did Shriek Show, and he's got Killer Camp Out 2's campaign going now. They've done a lot of work. They're known and respected. Slasher 15, of course, with Dave Kerr, Amber Fulcher, Michael McGlynn, and his wife Jamie. I would help them anytime, any day because of their reputation and the fact that they've got finished products out. They've delivered stuff. They always post behind the scenes stuff. They update constantly.
Mm-hmm.
They're like family to me, some of them.
Mm-hmm.
So Slasher 15, Fuzzy Monkey Films with Brad Twigg, Matt Burns. I would probably help Matt Burns if he asked me anytime.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Brian, who did Barsuglia, Social Distance, The Electric
Yeah.
Man, Amber Road is upcoming. Those 3 or 4 or 5 people, I would probably help anytime. Other than that, I mean, you're right with just the drama and the not knowing and all the controversy and the bad things that have happened. It's just not worth it anymore.
It's interesting, because to me, Hayden Newman, the director of Reunion from Hell, and Brian Brasuglia, those are two directors to me that impressed me with their finished product. Actually, after Social Distance,
Yeah,
I was hesitant to get involved with The Electric Man, or even when
right.
Amber Road went into production. Then I got the Blu-ray of Social Distance, and I was like, it was done for a small budget, but it was budgeted right. And they got Vernon Wells, and I think the
Yeah,
unknown cast, and it was really good. Yeah, I even had Noelle Berger on screen, who actually did a fine job as well, But I watched Social Distance, and I was like pretty impressed with how that turned out, I mean, it wasn't Citizen Kane, but it
yeah,
didn't
me
need
too.
it didn't need to be, So between
Yeah,
Hayden and Brian, I'm like, okay, they've proven themselves to me, you know. Brad Twigg, I haven't really seen any of his movies, but yeah, I've heard that name. I gotta look into him because and maybe even have him on the show because he's obviously reputable as well. What do you recommend that
Yes.
Brad Twigg did? What you say his best film is?
Yeah, I screwed up a minute ago, and I'm going to correct myself. But Brad Twigg, for sure, I backed a movie that he did called Death Board a few years
Hmm.
ago. It was really, really good. I've got the Blu-ray. And then Shriek Show, which just came out now. They did it last year or earlier this year. But I'm getting the Blu-ray. I haven't seen it all. I've seen bits of it. But it was wow. So yeah, I mean, check out Brad Twigg's page or his company's page, which is
Okay.
let's say Fuzzy Monkey Films. I'm trying to check here. I made a mistake a minute ago. And I just want to correct myself. I should have had my notes ready,
That's okay.
but bear with me because this is important. Um, I'll go ahead and finish what I was saying a minute ago about other
Hmm.
movies that I think have the potential to be really well done just because I've seen the people involved in the passion. And
Hmm.
that's one I started to say was Michelle Lynn Blasky's The Third Channel. I
Hmm.
think that is going to be really well done. And she's got a great team on in music. The guy that did the music, it's kind of like reminiscent of Halloween 3 because you know the Third Channel is the unofficial sequel. It's a fan film, but the music is so reminiscent of that 1983 or not, sorry, Halloween 3. The scores from inside that movie, it's just crazy how much they resemble each other. And I'm still trying to look this up. If it don't work in the next 30 seconds, I'll go on. But it's really important because I think I made a mistake a minute ago. I just want to make sure before I even correct myself. Daggone it. If you have a question, you can go ahead and ask, and I can get back to that in a minute. I'm sorry,
That's
I
okay.
can't.
That's okay. Yeah. But yeah, you've got some there are some people in the indie community that are really coming along well. And we've mentioned some
Oh yeah,
names there, you know, like to me, like Hayden Newman and Brian Bersugula.
oh yeah,
I'm interested in their next project. You know, Brad Twigg, I got to check
yeah,
out. I'll be frank,
yes,
I have heard of Street Show. So, but here's
yeah.
something else too. And this is great. Sometimes they're able to get some people from the industry involved. Vincent DeSante did this really well, and he was smart to keep it under his hat with Tom Matthews appearing in Never Hike Alone.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
you know, anybody that hasn't seen that by now, you know, I'm not going to spoiler alert here. You know, if you haven't seen it by now, you're not going to see it. But when Tom Matthews appeared, it was a pretty big deal, you know. And
oh yeah,
Never Hike
yeah,
Alone, yeah, Never Hike Alone was so well received that when Vincent DeSante did the follow up, he not only had Tom Matthews back, but he had Vinny Gastafaro, who was Deputy Cologne from Jason Lives as well, you know? So
yes,
it's interesting too
yes,
because Tom Matthews was impressed with just the footage he saw, and that's how he got brought in. But he was able to bring in
yeah,
Vinny. But I see a lot
yeah,
of, yeah, like I mean, Hayden Newman had Kathy Podwell from Night of the Demons in Reunion from Hell, and now she's
yeah.
got some of the Elm Street people in the sequel to that. And but I'm seeing a lot of um, people from the industry making a lot of appearances. I met Felissa Rose and Dave Sheraton at Frightmare in the Falls, and I had the pleasure of joking with them about, well, they're both in the Dead End, and I was able to say, like, yeah, I'm an associate producer on that, and Dave Sheridan like looks at me and he's like, technically, you're our boss. And he turns to Felissa Rose and says, hey, this is our boss. And Felissa's like, hey. And Felissa Rose in particular, you ever get a chance to meet her, she's awesome. But I don't even know when she sleeps because she seems to have about 50 projects going at once.
I know. I know. Every time I turn around, I'm hearing about a new movie Felicia's in, and I'm just like, all I can do is applaud her because, she came from a sleeper horror movie in
Hmm.
the 80s that now has a cult following, and now she's in all these. I've seen several of the fan films she's done, and most of the ones I have seen, I've been really impressed with, and I'm always impressed with her. So yeah, kudos to her, man. She's kicking some ass out there.
Another one I got to give kudos to is a horror film indie actress named Genevieve Rossi, who came up in the
Hmm.
she was in the last uh, Herschel Gordon Lewis film, and she was in a lot of the James Balsamo movies, which I've been involved in. But
Yes.
she just directed her first feature, Attack of the Killer Chickens, and I haven't seen this yet. I'm curious, definitely curious about it. I know David Naughton's supposed to be in it from An American Werewolf in London, but
Yeah.
Genevieve Rossi's
Well,
another. Yeah.
man.
So you've got some proven people, and I like to see people that make these movies actually make a finished product, actually make something, present it.
Yeah.
You know, So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a nice feeling to see something solid. Even better if that something
It
solid is
is.
good.
Yes. That's the finality. It's not everybody's going to be pleased with everything they see, and I've backed and contributed to films and I've watched some, and it's kind of like, oh well, that wasn't what I expected. And then there are others like Social Distance, and there's one that's even upcoming that I have the associate producer title, but it was, again, when I don't take the title unless I feel like I earned it through some means of sharing or promoting and trying to get money. But it's called Parallels, and the director Daniel Goad, he's from Tennessee also, and
Okay.
I've been seeing little snippets of this film, and I think I haven't even seen it yet, and I think it's going to be another one of those where people have been hearing about it for 2 years, but with the lockdown, everything that happened, it's been delayed, delayed, delayed. But
Hmm.
he's been working his ass off on it. I think it's going to be another one that when people when they watch it, they're going to be like, well, yeah, that's good. It was worth the wait. It's so tough because I never realized how many projects, especially at one point, Rob used to tell me that my plate was overflowing with projects, and it's true. I overwhelmed myself several times, but
Hmm.
I never realized. I knew that there was a lot of work that was involved in making a movie, but
Hmm.
like as you just said, when you see a finished product, especially when you've seen it from the baby stages of just an idea to be in a campaign to actually getting filmed, and then you get the physical copy of it or the digital, and you see it done. There's just nothing like that in the world. The feeling to see what all these people came together and did, and that includes the backers and contributors. In a lot of cases, that's where they get 90 to 100% of their money. Some people have investors, but God, to see it done, yeah, it's just an amazing feat. So I applaud everybody out there that has trying to do it or has done it, especially independently, and that's why I have that. I had the passion for it. Things have been hectic lately. I don't have the passion as much anymore. Just stuff going on at home and personally. But God, you know what? I'm just going to applaud them right now because that's a lot of work, and I don't want to talk all night about it. But they deserve everybody. The ones that seriously do it, like we've been talking about, the ones that do it, finish it, and give you a product, even if it's not something you love. And I applaud them for the hard work it takes to really do that.
Mm-hmm. Let's move
Yeah.
away from the indie scene here for a minute, and let's talk about A Bloody Halloween, your books, you know. How many books
Oh
again have
yeah.
you written?
Well, I've written 6, but only 3 are published.
Okay.
But I've got 2 more that are coming soon. So, you know, a Bloody Halloween 2 is the next one. It'll be out soon. I've been having a lot of technical issues with the laptop I have, but it's coming soon. And then there's another book, which I'll get into later if you want to, because I think people are going to be interested in it. But back to A Bloody Halloween 1 real quick. I just want to give a shout out one more time. I think I did last time we talked, but Bobby High, I think he's got an eye. I think he's got a mind. And I've read a lot of scripts in my life, believe me. I've read professional scripts. I read indie scripts, first-time writers. He wrote a script for my book, A Bloody Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
And it blew my mind. He captured the book like I wanted it. And,
perfect.
you know, that's something we're trying to get out there is that if you don't have if you don't have a project, you know, and you want to look at the script, you know, let me or Bobby know. But I think I want to give him props because he did such a great job capturing it. And we're already talking about doing the sequel script, and the thing's not even out yet. I mean, it's done. It's just not published yet.
Mm-hmm.
And again, someone else I want to shout out to is Sandy Johnson. Anytime I post about that and she sees it, she will always say something positive about it. And she was the first person to go out on a limb. I was going to say on Cameo, it was Cameo. I paid to get a video from her, and we had talked beforehand about my book, and I said, well, can you mention that you read my book? And she does the whole, you've seen it, the 6-minute video review of my book, and it just blew my mind. And she's always so positive. She still is to this day. So I wanted to tell her thank you. Check out Sandy Johnson. She's a great human being and a very talented actress.
I've had her on the
And
show
there's
here.
one more person.
Yeah, we'll get to that for a second. But
Yeah.
Sandy Johnson is absolutely wonderful. She is somebody I hope to meet at a con. She, of course, was Judith
Yes.
Myers in the original Halloween, and she did do a wonderful review of your book. You know, that's a hit and a half right there. And I bet you the
Yeah.
other person you're going to bring up is Troy Elke, who does voice.
You know it.
Yeah, talk about his involvement here.
Yeah, Troy, we've been friends since before 13 Fanboy was even talked about. We at least were friends on Facebook, and he always told me, and I saw some of his YouTube stuff and the videos he would put in the Sheer Horror group. I'm like, this guy has a voice.
Mm-hmm.
He's amazing. And we got to know each other slowly and through 13 Fanboy and some of like talking about Hearts of Darkness, you know, Adam Marcus's documentary. And it hit me. I'm like, Troy, I think, I don't know if I asked him or he asked me, but we talked about A Bloody Halloween. And we joked about it being kind of a smaller book, kind of like a novelette. And he ordered it and he read it, and then he did this awesome review like Sandy Johnson. It came out shortly after hers, actually. It was so funny because I didn't expect that from him, and I was so touched with the things he said and how it reminded him of Stephen King kind of feeling with the kids and the terror chasing the kids, and they have to come together with no adults and no safety. And just the things he said blew my mind. So, not only have I did me and Bobby, this may be giving it away, but I've discussed this with Troy and Bobby. I think they're okay with me mentioning this. Troy is actually a character based on Troy Elke. That he's going to be in both scripts with a bigger part in the sequel, including his squirrel, his last squirrel that passed away sadly. But the character is a big deal. He's a big presence, especially in the sequel, and it's just based on all the love Troy's shown me, and also he's showing me more love. He's finished recording the audio book for A Bloody Halloween, which will be out soon. He's just converting the audio files a little more, and Troy is like a star, like Sandy Johnson, as far as backing me in my project, my personal projects up. I love them both. They're great people, and I can't thank them enough.
I gotta say this, as far as 13 Fanboy goes, for all the talent involved in that film, I'm just gonna go out on the limb and say I think Troy Elke may be the most gifted and talented person involved with that movie, because I know when I first connected with him, it was due to his Facebook theories on the Friday the 13th franchise. And then I started seeing the video. I don't know where he comes up with his ideas for the videos that he posts online, like I wouldn't have the patience or time to come up with stuff like that. So he comes up with some really weird, interesting stuff, and I like it. So I think it's great that you got him involved with your book. So, but
I'm lucky.
he's a guy waiting to be discovered, and I don't think he's as full as potential as even shown yet. So there you go.
That's exactly what I said. I joked with Bobby High the other day, who wrote the script, who's also a star when it comes to backing my book and supporting, and he did the script. But I think I joked with him the other day. It might have been Michael McGlynn, but I said Troy, like you said, he's undiscovered. He's like a diamond in the rough almost, and I can't wait to say, ha ha world. Not really rub it in anybody's face, but say, look, this guy backed my book. He did the audio book. I know him personally. He's so awesome. But yeah, his talent, I think one day is going to just explode into the world. And I think that's the best thing I can say about him, other than he's just a great, caring person too. But yeah, that man's talent, my God, if he ever gets out, he's got the potential to be like the next Robin Williams, or just someone huge.
You think the squirrel hides in his beard?
I asked him that. He said the squirrel does. And well, actually, I cut the scene from my book, but there was a scene where she was in his little beard of my sequel book. Her little head would pop out, and the kids would respond. But I ended up cutting that scene out because there's some other stuff in it. But yeah, the squirrel did hide in the beard.
Yep. Troy has a passion for squirrels, which I think is awesome. You mentioned Robin Williams. I gotta say this. I thought it was really cool that you did the Doubtfire Face Challenge for suicide and depression awareness. You were very creative in your approach to that. I wish I wasn't. I won't get into detail, but shit on basically by a particular film project due to the fact that I was pushing that charity challenge. But nonetheless, you were one of these people that took it and it meant something. And your son was dressed up as the miner from My Bloody Valentine, which was pretty freaking cool. Speaking of which, Ellen Udy, who is in My Bloody Valentine, has done the Doubtfire Face Challenge, and she's pretty. Yep, she is really cool. She is really cool, and so I appreciate the fact that you did this, and yeah.
Yeah, let me say something about that real quick, and I'll try not to be so long-winded finally, but because I know it's late where you're at, really late. The challenge, you had been questioned by people recently, and my response the quick version is I can respect people are going to have their different opinions on the challenge. Today when we chatted on the phone, I asked you, I said, did I go too far by being so theatrical with that? But then I thought back to what my mindset was, and my mindset is I'm doing it it's for everybody, but it's in the horror community. So why not get people's attention by having the miners stalking me and
Mm-hmm.
getting the props out from the people I nominate? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do that, and then I'll take the challenge, and then I'll get real serious with the message because it is a serious message. It hits close home with me with the depression. I've
Mm-hmm.
been there horribly, and I've known people that committed suicide. I've lost friends, so it's not a joke. I can see where people's opinions on it are going to vary, and that's fine. I respect if they have their opinion, but I don't regret doing it at all, and I still think it's very serious. I
Oh,
take it very serious. I mean, and
when Sandy Johnson did it, her
it's a great
husband was
cause.
dressed up as Michael Myers. I thought that Sandy's was great.
Right.
No, no, I think I got looked down on by this particular project because I'm not worthy or famous enough. I'm not part of the clique, and that's where I stand in that. And far as I'm concerned, these people say that well, it's making light of a serious situation. But yeah, it was okay for people to dump ice water over their head for the ice bucket challenge. When people start making excuses like that, I would just want to tell them to fuck off. I think a lot
Yeah.
of it was because I'm not high up on the totem pole, and so I just kind of walked away from these people. It's like, you know what? It's like I get it. I'm not part of the clique, and I appreciate the people who have done it. So I've had a few people do it. Like I mentioned, Ellen Udy did it, and she was wonderful. She made no bones about it. She was happy to. But I also made a
Yeah.
donation to one of her charities in return. So, but there's always going to be somebody out there that shits on what you did. And of course, they're going to say I shit on their project, but that's another story altogether, which I'm not going to get into. But I appreciate the fact that you took time out to do it and you were creative about it. And right now, I haven't heard anything about the people you not. Well, one of them is planning to do it. That I do know, which is
Yes.
awesome. But
Yes.
I hate it when people say yes and then it's just like I get accused of pushing something because I try to follow up with them. It's like then don't say yes,
Yeah.
you know. But uh, they want to make me the bad guy,
Yeah.
I say fuck them, So you know, but there's been some really good people that have done it and get it. I've dealt with it, and here's one thing I'm not going to do. I'm not going to have any of these people from these movies waste my fucking time getting on camera to go, oh, please don't commit suicide. There's so much help out there, so much to live. Like, cut the shit. If
Yeah.
it's about the same as telling Terry Fox, why don't you talk about cancer? No, he did something bigger than that. He did something bigger than
Yeah.
that. But like I said, when it comes to funding a film, they're all for that. Otherwise, they just saw me as worthless and tossed me aside. And believe me, I'm not going to forget that. You know, some of those people will be people I just don't have to give them my money at a con. I don't have to have my picture taken with them because they're not worthy of it, and they're not worthy of my time, But
Yeah.
I appreciate the fact that you took the time to do it, and that's appreciated. And I know Rob Mahoney took it seriously, and various others. And I appreciate people like your Sandy Johnson, and Ellen UD, and Michael Levy from Terrifier, and Lisa
Yeah.
Langlois, Nancy McLaughlin, people like that embraced it. So I don't want to get on a negative, but I wanted to say thank you for doing that. Scotty McCoy was another one that did it. He was pretty awesome as well. But anyway, speaking of Carrie Yates, another wonderful soul who supports a lot of charities. I know she's been helping uh, deal with charities about the Ukraine situation right now. She's another one
Yeah.
that can't seem to catch a break when it comes to a lot of these film projects, Like, I know there's been a few of these indie films that she pulled away from due to shenanigans that's gone on, and I know you know about that. And it's sad because I think Carrie Yates just this is my impression. I think she just kind of walked away from the community, and I don't blame her. But I also think that's a loss because when I think of Carrie Yates, I think of somebody that took time to help me get set up here on Zoom, which she didn't have to do.
Yeah.
She offered that, and now I'm able to do this. So kudos to Carrie Yates. She's wonderful. But I feel bad that she's put a lot of faith in projects that let her down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, there's a few. There's a few people that I've met in all my years in social media, and Carrie Yates is probably in a top 10 of the most real people. That you get what you get,
Hmm.
and what you see, that's what she is. And I think she's a great person also, and I appreciate her charity. And she has held out her hand to me, like when my back was against the wall or I was upset about something many times. And I want to say on here, I appreciate her. I know how she feels. Sometimes it's easier to step away. A lot of people in the last 6 months, especially, I'm not afraid to admit that along with my personal issues, I know a lot of people have had issues online and coincidentally things going on in their personal lives. So you have to make a choice. What's best for you? Um, I think Carrie Yates has the potential. I don't know exactly what's going on either, but if she does come back, if she has stepped away, I think she's another one of those people she's priceless to have around, and she will do everything she can to push or help a project. Um, as for me, it was fun for a while. I've got family and a lot of issues to focus on. Plus, I just really like writing, and that's where I'm going to focus. I'm stepping back over to Bobby High, and
Hmm.
we're going to work on a bunch of projects, I think, together, more scripts and maybe even some books together. And for the people out there that I'm helping with films, I'll still share. But you know what? The community's doing fine. I think some of the negativity has been exposed, and the negativity that actually was real, they've either stepped away or people know enough to stay the hell away, and that's great. The negativity that is still going on, stop. Just stop, because you're not doing anything but making yourself look stupid. This community is stronger than that. People are going to rise above all this. You know what? You can be as negative as you want. Stop putting people down. Stop putting films down. All you're doing is making an ass out of yourself and making, you're trying to make the community look bad. Or you're trying to make a film look bad. You're not doing it. I mean, every now and then, yeah, you succeed for a little while. But to those people out there that are still doing it, because I've seen it even today or heard
Hmm.
stories today, just fucking stop. It's not worth it. Life is too short. And I'm not just saying this because I am a Christian. I believe that you should treat others how you want to be treated. Life is too short. And yes, I'm going on this rant, Greg, so forgive me. But
Oh, you
life is
go
too
go
short.
do so. I don't. Doesn't bother me. Yep.
Well, life is too short. I do believe that there's a higher power out there. I call him God. And I'm telling you this now, whether you believe or you don't, in the end, what are you going to be remembered for? Do you want to be remembered for the asshole that started stuff, that did horrible things and treated people bad, that never had a real friend in their life? Or do you want to be known as the person that broke their back to try to help others, that took the shirt off of their back and gave it to someone, or just said a kind word when someone looked like they were down and depressed? Like, people, wake up. Because believe me, Greg knows, I know, I have been torn down the last 6 months. He's been torn down. Other people are being torn down right now. And there are people that I don't even talk to anymore. There are people that don't talk to me anymore because of all this. And you know what? In the end, you're not going to win. The community and people, I think, as a whole, are stronger. You may win your little battles, but the war is going to be won, I think, ultimately by goodness. So just stop wasting, people's time, man. All you're doing is making a fool of yourself. And what do you want to look like at the end? I could keep going all night, but
You know
it's
what?
like,
I want to bring.
listen, just shut up, people. Be positive. Go ahead.
I want to bring up something positive. Just within the last 2 weeks, I got a friend's request by your daughter Isabel on
Yes.
Facebook, and at first I did because I usually only accept friends requests from people that's got multiple friends in common with me. But when I saw the profile picture and it was you two, I was like, okay, okay. What made her send me a friends request? Did she listen to the interview, or what's the story there?
Yeah, I mean, she knows that we talk some, and
Mm-hmm.
she knows that I've done the podcast,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, as far, she doesn't have a lot of mutual friends that we have,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, she just saw your name and she knew we talked, and she knew, yeah. So she's like, I guess she just sent it out of the. She's like, well, if Daddy likes him, I'm gonna do that.
No,
So
I accepted the friends request. I thought it was pretty darn cool, and you know, and
yeah.
yeah, you seem to have a really nice relationship with your family. So, how many kids do you have again?
I have
Four.
four, three boys and my little girl. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Yeah, you can see where my head's kind of been screwy lately, but in all honesty, if they weren't here, I probably wouldn't be here. They kept me going through some of the toughest things imaginable, and my wife too. I can probably say safely.
You better say your wife, or you're sleeping on the floor. Oh,
You're right about that.
so I got a question about Isabel. Did girls grow up, they play with dolls. I don't know whether she has a Barbie, but did you ever like take Ken and get rid of him and like get her an Iron Sheik doll to go with the Barbie? You know, you know, play that dynamic. Iron Sheik is the new
But
Ken.
yeah, I gladly would. Luckily, there's no Ken involved yet, so we're good there. But I would gladly replace Ken with any of those guys that we like. Yeah.
Oh wow. You still watch wrestling?
Yeah, not as much as I used to. Mostly YouTube stuff, but
Yeah.
I still buy the DVDs now and then if there's like one or two matches I want to see. I think the last one I watched was WrestleMania from this year, and I was okay with it. Not like it used to be. We've had this discussion, but
Hmm.
it was an okay show. It was okay. So
I think the women's match between Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch stole the show. I
oh
think
man,
that turned out
stole
well.
the show. Hands
Yep.
down, that was my favorite match on the whole show. Um, I was just I didn't know the story leading into that match, and they show it before the match
Hmm.
because I haven't been watching Monday Night Raw or SmackDown or nothing. And when I saw the build up to that match, just in that little video, the vignette kind of thing, I was like, gosh, what did they do to Becky? And like Bianca is actually, she's from Knoxville, my hometown, right down the road.
Hmm.
So I was like, wow, okay, I can support her, but I like Becky Lynch too. It was tough, but I'm probably a bigger Becky Lynch fan. I loved what they did with the story, and I loved her new look. And yeah,
Hmm.
you're right. I think that match stole the show.
Yep. Yep. No, I watched WrestleMania, I did watch that. I don't follow it now. Like I said, I usually will watch stuff on YouTube because I'm gonna be
Yeah.
frank, I liked wrestling back where you could believe it. Even if you knew it was predetermined, you could believe it,
Okay.
Terry Funk once said, you might not believe in wrestling that wrestling's real, but you sure as hell will believe I'm real. And that was all in Terry Funk's performance. And I miss that
Oh yeah.
side of wrestling. Now it's so hokey and stupid that I can't get into it. But WrestleMania 38 had some fine moments. I'll say that. It was a well worth it show. But like I said, I like wrestling from the 70s and the 80s. I find that's where I get my most entertainment out of it. You know, I am
Yeah.
planning to have Princess Victoria back on here, though.
And I'll watch that when you know that. I
Yeah.
love. Yeah. That's good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'd love to have Ariel Teal Piper back on here as well. She is hit and miss getting back to me on text, and that doesn't bother me. I've had guests that are like that, getting their attention is you sometimes you'll have a good day and you'll get their attention, but there are a lot of times you don't, and I don't take that personally because they're usually busy. But but
Yeah.
and Ariel was another Doubtfire face person too, and I had so much fun throwing that out to her. but
Yeah. I
but
know.
yeah, but nonetheless, um, yeah, I still got a big bag of LJN wrestlers over there that I gotta see if I can find some more of them. But those were fun. But anyway, do you got anything else you want to plug and promote on here?
No, I think I ran my mouth enough. I just want to say thanks for having me back. And if people do want to, just keep an eye on my posts or whatever, or Troy Elke or Bobby High, there are more scripts coming, more books, the sequel to Bloody Halloween, a totally new book I have coming out after that. It's really in your face and graphic. I mean, it's going to be intense. It's right after Bloody Halloween. Just keep your eye out, and I appreciate all the help that people are giving me back, even if it's just a few people. I appreciate them so much. But Bobby, Troy, and Sandy, uh, the most online, and Anthony Wall, and of course my family, my wife here, and you
You you
too.
you
So
you you
thank you
you
all
better
so
thank
much.
your wife. You better thank your wife. She'll own your
She
ass
knows
if
I
you
love
don't. She will
her.
own.
Yeah,
She will. She'll open up a can of whoop ass on you if you don't thank her.
you're right.
I'm almost tempted to get her to do that right now, just so it'd be, look what I caught live action on Zoom.
Yeah.
What? Where can people get your book?
You can get it on Amazon. You
Mm-hmm.
can get it on any online bookstore. Any online bookstore. So check it out. I appreciate it. I think
Yes.
you'll be. I think a lot of people will like it.
Well, Sandy Johnson did. Troy Elke did. Actually, I think Troy Elke said he wasn't able to put it down, if I remember that correctly. So there you
Yeah.
go. But you know what? This Zoom conversation has gone even better than the last one. Then maybe this is how you're able to do this.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
I have no complaints. I've had a ball.
you had a few slow down glitches here and there, but otherwise, this has been great. Is this a new laptop you have?
Yeah. Yeah. And actually, Bobby High is the one who helped me get it. So
Hmm.
I owe him that too. Uh, so yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to let you get off here because I would imagine your lovely wife is probably wants to get to sleep, and you're keeping her up talking to me. I
Oh
know
yeah.
talking to me is important. I get it. Priorities.
Oh, of course.
I could say this because I'm here and she can't reach me.
She can't reach you.
She can reach you
I think
though.
she's trying to reach me. Yeah, I know. I'm scooting over. Do you want to be on Python's Paradise kicking my ass? She might do it.
but but nonetheless too, and I like it there on Facebook. You post some of the convention photos. You got to get back to the conventions, man. And I'm
I
going to do two.
know.
I'm going to
I
do two
miss
this
them.
fall. Yeah, I'm doing two this fall in Toronto. So
I know. You have fun at those. One, there's going to be one here in July I want to go to, but there's one in August down in Knoxville. So I've got a few months to work on it because one of my favorite wrestlers of all time is going to be there. Can you guess who it is? That
um,
I haven't met.
just a second. Let me think. Let me think. Well, your favorite wrestlers of all time. Um, let me think. Let me think. I'm trying to think of the worst wrestler I could think of, and it's just
Yeah, I knew you were doing that. I'll give you a hint. He started wrestling in his daddy's promotion, and him and his brother broke out in WWF back in the early 80s, well, late 70s for Brett. Oh, whoops, I gave it away.
oh, great. Congratulations. I'm going to say you were talking about Bret Hart.
Yeah, it's Bret Hart. I'm so stupid. But yeah, Bret Hart's going to be here with Christopher Lloyd, who I love, is going to be at that one. So I've been wanting to meet both of them. So yeah, I need to get out to those conventions. And you have fun when you go to yours.
Well, yeah, get out to those conventions, enjoy them, like go enjoy them because they're a lot of fun, What's the con called? What's it called?
Yeah, that one is called Fan. It's just called Fanboy. Fanboy. He does it in Orlando. He does it in Indianapolis. He does it in Las Vegas and Knoxville, of course. There's somewhere else. So he does 4 or 5 a year, and they're getting pretty big. So, yeah. And I miss going to them. I loved them. I miss them so much.
Okay, let's just give it a look here before you go and see who's going to be there. Yep, Christopher
Yeah,
Lloyd.
Fanboy. Yeah.
Lee Majors. Wow.
Yeah.
Jamie Farr, Loretta Swift, Jeff Maxwell, Melissa Gilbert, Allison Arngrim. I've had Allison's brother Stephen on here. I've had him on here 4 times. Allison Arngrim from Little House on the Prairie, Karen Grassel, Eric Estrada, Robert Pine, Larry Wilcox. Now, Larry Wilcox I've interviewed. I've interviewed Larry. Edward James Olmos. He was in Blade Runner.
I love him.
Keith David. He was in They Live and The Thing. Bret Hart.
Yep.
Morgan Fairchild. Wow. Morgan Fairchild.
Yeah.
Holy
it's going to be a big one.
Tia Carey. From Wayne's
I don't know
World.
who that is.
She was in Wayne's World.
Oh, okay. Yeah. How do I not remember her? Of course.
She was in True Lies. Jessica Darrow. Adassa. These are voice actors, I think. Dave Foley. I'm familiar with him. Mindy Cohen from Facts of Life.
Yeah.
Barry Lowen. Dorian King or something like that. Carrie Jones. Let me see. And you got somebody from Star Trek. Okay, Kevin McNally. Now Sean Patrick Flannery, I'm familiar with.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look through. Oh, gee, the Warriors cast reunion. Wow. Michael Beck, David Harris, and Terry Mikos. I've interviewed David Harris, and I'm actually still connected with Apache Ramos, who's not listed here, but he has been on my show 3 times. Olivia Hack. You got some good people here. Jerry the King Lawler.
Yeah, I could literally. I mean, I love Jerry Lawler. By the way, I could walk in there and spend $1,500 easily on autographs and pictures with over half the people you said. But
Rikishi.
I got to kind of.
The Godfather. J.J. Cohen.
Yeah.
More coming. So you want me to tell you what I would do if I were you?
Take a Valium, right?
No, I would count how many guests are going to be there.
Yeah.
And
too many.
No, count how many guests are going to be there. Like, for example, when I go to Frightmare in the Falls, there's going to be 24 guests, I'm told.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide that. Now, if I divide it in half, then I could go to 12 of the guests. But if your money is really tight, okay, maybe divide it into 3s. And instead of 12, maybe lower it down to 8. Or if you have to divide it into 4s, divide it and go after 6. Like, I'd do a little math if I were you on that, and just really look at who you want to meet and narrow it down, because I know when I went to, that's what I would do. Like, I'll probably go to 8 out of those 24 for Frightmare in the Falls. And they've already announced Danielle Harris, who I'm interested in, but out of those 3 slots, I got her right in the middle. If they announce another guest, I'll put one ahead of the other, and I'll just keep doing that as guests are announced, and then I'll figure out who I'm going to go see. Because you're right, it can be costly.
It's bad, but I'll tell you this. Just having mentioned Danielle, I've met her. She's been here 3 times, and I talked to her one of the 3 times, but I met her twice and
Mm-hmm.
got her table for some reason both times. When I actually went to get an autograph and a picture with her, there was no one there. So she sits there and stands up with you, and she talks to you like Felissa Rose, just a really sweet, down to earth. I don't want to say girl now because she's a woman, but she's one of the nicest celebrities I've ever met. One year she was here for that fanboy, and she had her birthday here. And I said, it must be horrible. You're stuck in East Tennessee for your birthday. She's like, actually, no, it's really great here. The people have been fantastic, and I love the city. And that made my day because I've had celebrities knock being here. I mean, I love Bill Moseley, but he straight up said he didn't really like it here. He wanted to get back to California. But Danielle was great.
Yeah,
So
but
you got
that's
to
what.
meet her.
Yeah, so that's what I would do if I were you. I would count up the guests, and I would figure out who you want to see, and I would fraction it off and go with the what you call the front denominator of guests.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and decide who you wanna meet. That's what I would do. But I
Yeah.
would go. Like, I know you haven't gone in a while, but holy cow, it's you get to see a lot of cosplay, and
Oh, yeah.
most people are pretty cool, and meet some of these people, go to the vendors and see what you can see there. Have some
Oh,
fun
yeah.
with it. Have some fun with
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
Yeah. I
you
miss
know.
it. It is fun. I,
Hmm.
I, I could go for the cosplay and the vendors alone. So, yeah, I miss it. It's just a great that everybody feels at home somewhere that's public, that's crowded. And I usually hate crowds. I hate
Hmm.
stores. I've always hated going to wrestling live. I've been to WWE, probably 30 times in my life. But at a con, there's something about the air, the way everything feels. It's just so comfortable. I love it. So it's like home to me. So yeah, I need to try to go. I miss it. But anyway, we could talk about that all night.
Yeah, well, go and enjoy it. Go and
Yeah.
enjoy it. Meet Bret Hart, meet Christopher Lloyd, or Jerry
Oh yeah.
Lawler, or whoever. You got a lot of really interesting people on that list, as I see. So go and
Oh yeah.
enjoy yourself. Go and
Yeah.
enjoy yourself. Absolutely. Anyway, you got anything else you want to plug on here before we close off?
I hope no one shoots me, but no, I don't think so. I
Oh, yeah, well,
appreciate it though.
your wife might. Your wife
You want
might
to
if
plug
you.
anything?
I'm good.
No,
She's good.
no, she might want to shoot you for keeping her up all night.
Yeah, I want to hear about it as soon as we disconnect. So, nah, she's really good. She's a sweetie.
Bless you.
When are you go get her in the pie challenge?
Uh, yeah. Is that going to happen, honey?
No.
You
I
know
don't know.
what?
I'm still working on it.
You can always surprise her with it. I mean, and then run really fast.
I'm faster.
If you hadn't have just said that where she could hear you, I might have tried that.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I'm kind of safe right here. Like, I mean,
Aren't you always? You're always the safe one. Always put your guest in the pot.
You know what? I think you get a wonderful family dynamic. I think it's awesome that you're close to your wife, you're close to your kids, and yeah, I think that's interesting.
I
Although
try.
that little pink shirt that your daughter had on, I'm pretty sure that is yours.
Like I said, if it was my size, I would wear it. I would wear it. I would.
Yeah, you had a T-Rex from Toy Story on yours. So I mean,
I did, and the shirt said, "I'm a nervous Rex," and believe me, I'm always a nervous Rex. So hell yeah, that shirt suits me just fine.
there you go. There you go. Well, you know what, Jimmy? This has been fun. And if you're ever doing a Zoom, go with this method. I think this would be good for you.
I agree. I appreciate it. I think it's held up. I can't see how much it has glitched, but hopefully, like you said, it's been better than last time.
Well, your first interview, when I put it from unlisted to public, it's done well. Like there's a lot of people, there's a lot of views on it. So
Thank you.
yeah, so there you go. But you're always welcome, and I'll put you on the roster for next year and have you back on when you've sold more books and maybe have this new one up and ready.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's gonna be here soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Jimmy, congratulations on a bloody Halloween, and it's been great that we've remained in touch. And
Oh yeah,
yeah, maybe when smoke clears and a lot of the drama passes, pick wisely on what projects you want to be involved with. I know there's some good ones out there, so yeah,
oh yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I bid you a good night. Before I let you go, do a plug for my show. Just state your name, say you're the author of A Bloody Halloween, and say you're listening to Greg Gilbert on Python's Paradise.
Yeah, I mean, I'm Jimmy Pressley, author of A Bloody Halloween. You're listening to Python's Paradise, hosted by Greg Gilbert. And let me say, it is one of my favorite podcasts to listen to. You will not be disappointed. Check out his list of guests. Check out his podcast tonight.
Absolutely. And folks, go on Amazon, order A Bloody Halloween. Actually, I'm going to put it this way: or order A Bloody Halloween, or his wife's going to put him in a headlock and do a little noogie with her knuckles on his head, and then give him a wedgie.
She does that. Yeah, she does that too.
You think they'll have sympathy on you on that one? maybe
No.
that won't help your book sales. Maybe they'll just want her to do it. Oh, well, I think between the two of us, we have got to get shut eye. It is closing in on 6 o'clock here, and I'm pretty sure it's closing in on 5 o'clock where you are.
It is. It is. It's been fun though. But yes, I'm ready to hit the bed, and we'll talk soon. But I appreciate it all.
Oh yeah. Well, my schedule at the hospital's been hectic. That's why I haven't been in touch. But I never know
Oh
when I'm
yeah.
gonna get called. I'm kind of hoping I don't get called today.
Yeah, I know. I know.
I don't think I will get called this morning because they would have called me last night. But if I get called to come in for 8 o'clock, I'm gonna be Romero zombie times 10.
I know.
And I've done that
Hopefully
before,
they don't.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But anyway,
Yeah.
you take it easy, Jimmy. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah. You too. I appreciate it.
All right. God bless you, man. Keep the faith.
You too.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
You too.
Yep.
Bye bye.
Yep. Bye-bye.